The Soviet Union lasted nearly 70 years, and in that time it built rockets to space and camps in Siberia. It built nuclear bombs and musical codes to outsmart the KGB. But hidden beneath the headlines were darker, stranger stories, pieces of history that sound too wild to be true. Today, we open that vault. 1942, the Eastern Front is a frozen nightmare. The Soviet Union is fighting for survival against Nazi Germany. Deep behind enemy lines, a small Soviet sabotage team under Colonel Ilya Starinov is given a strange mission. Not to blow up a bridge, but to intercept a single man. That man was carrying something far more valuable than gold. A worn, leather-bound notebook filled with sketches, formulas, and cryptic notes. It wasn't just any notebook. It was research for Germany's atomic bomb project. Until then, Stalin had been skeptical of nuclear weapons. But when his scientists saw those pages, they warned him, "Comrade Stalin, the Americans and Germans are racing for this weapon. We must too." That notebook accelerated the Soviet nuclear program, cutting years off development and helping the USSR detonate its first atomic bomb by 1949. Without that one capture, the nuclear balance of the Cold War might have been very different. Fast forward to the 1980s. The Cold War is in full swing. The KGB has eyes and ears everywhere. Letters are opened, phones tapped, every foreigner monitored. But one American saxophonist, Merrill Goldberg, had a plan. Goldberg was part of a touring orchestra visiting the USSR. Hidden in her sheet music were not just notes and chords, but secret intelligence, names, addresses, messages written in a musical code. To the KGB it was harmless music. To her contacts it was priceless information. How did it work? She assigned each musical note to a letter of the alphabet. Whole paragraphs of text became melodies. She could play them on stage, and her contact could decode them later, right under the noses of Soviet security. It was the perfect disguise. After all, who suspects a jazz solo of being espionage? May 1933. Stalin orders a brutal population purge, removing undesirables from Soviet cities. Over 6,000 prisoners, beggars, petty criminals, political enemies, are crammed onto barges and shipped deep into Siberia. Their destination? Nazino Island, a remote patch of wilderness with no shelter, no tools, and no food. The guards handed out only sacks of raw flour. No ovens, no pots, no clean water. People mixed it with dirty river water and ate it raw. Dysentery spread. Hunger became unbearable. Within days, the first bodies were found. And then, the unthinkable happened. Desperate prisoners began hunting each other. Some were tied to trees and butchered. Eyewitnesses reported that groups of women were kept alive by stronger men as a source of meat. After 13 weeks, over 4,000 people were dead or missing. Survivors were moved to labor camps, and the story was buried in Soviet archives for decades. In 1981, the KGB thought they had pulled off a major coup. An agent in France stole blueprints and software for Western industrial control systems, perfect for managing a new Soviet natural gas pipeline. What the KGB didn't know was that the CIA had deliberately altered the software before letting it slip. Months later, deep in Siberia, that code triggered a massive pressure overload. The pipeline exploded with the force of a small nuclear bomb. Visible from space, the US never officially admitted it. The USSR never officially blamed them, but declassified files later revealed it as one of the most successful acts of cyber sabotage in history. The Soviet Union is gone, but its secrets still surface. From notebooks that shaped the nuclear age, to jazz solos carrying hidden messages, to an island of horror, to the silent war of code and pipelines. History isn't just the big headlines, it's the strange, the hidden, the almost unbelievable. Which of these stories shocked you most? Tell me in the comments, and if you love uncovering the untold, hit like and subscribe. We have a lot more to dig up.